that we might live through him. Herein is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sin. Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought to love one another. No man has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God dwells in us, and his love is perfected in us. Hereby know we that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he had given us of his Spirit. And we have seen and testified that the Father sent the Son to be the Savior of the world. That's verse 14. And one thing I want us to bring some point out from verse 17, from verse 7. It says, let us love one another, for love is of God. First thing. Second thing, and everyone that loves is born of God. And thirdly, the person knows God. And another thing is that he that loves God, he that loves not, does not know God, because God is love. So talking about this love, the first definition of love is like caring for one another. You care for your need, you care, I care for you, you care for me. And he's saying love one another, not love others, which means love is reciprocal.
Yeah.
And it should be distributed evenly. And love is even another thing that validates our Christianity. If you say you're a Christian, you call on God, you don't love, and your Christianity, your Christian life is not validated. And Bible is even saying you do not know that God, even though you call on him everywhere.
From this version of mine, he said, a message version, he said, my beloved friend, let us continue to love each other, since love comes from God. Now, he now said, further, he said, everyone who loves is born of God and experiences a relationship with God. To say that if you don't love, you have no relationship with God. Why? Because the person who refuses to love doesn't know the first thing about God, because God is love. The definition of love is God. So to say you know God and you don't love is wrong.
Definitely. And looking at this, which means when you love, that's the main testimony or main witness of your being born again, of knowing God.
Yes.
And that will be evident in you caring for one another. And when we say care, it doesn't only mean sharing gifts. And even this issue of gifts, his text message will come in. Maybe he has automated it or not. His text message will be the first thing that I will receive every year. And that thing really means a lot to me. Not as if I'm expecting it. If he doesn't send it, it does not cost me anything.
Yeah.
But, that thing really transfers something to me. I also, and it has made me to improve. Especially if I can't remember anybody's birthday. If I see notification for his birthday, I must do something. Yes, that is like transferring positivity.
Yeah.
And I have reasoned, and I see that, okay, this thing is good. I want to imitate it. And I appreciate, he's not sending money to me. He's doing house for my account. Maybe he will ask this year. I'll send something.
Hopefully.
But, that act of I care about you makes me feel like, okay, I appreciate this person and I want to be like that. So if you are in a relationship, now let's talk about even people that are in a relationship, maybe you are in courtship, dating and all that. There's something that is rampant now among ladies. They believe that if you're in a relationship with a guy, the guy or the man should take sole responsibility for your life. And that have wrecked so many relationships.
Yeah.
And it's even one of those things that is pressuring many young boys that we have now to do what? To go into different means to get money. If you read online, you see many people, the main reason they want to do that, maybe one lady, I've already ridiculed them once because you don't have money, I can't be in a relationship with you. Or I ask you for 20,000, you are giving me 10,000. And you know, many of them believe that if I have you as my boyfriend, then all my need have been transferred to you.
You know, let me just interrupt you a little bit. I believe that love is a reciprocating. How do I put it?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
You should reciprocate love.
Yes.
Now, if somebody, I believe that, as like what we've been saying now, it means that love, it's like you are sacrificing some things. It's like
love is always sacrificial.
It's sacrificial. So if somebody wants to go to an extent of doing so many things because he cares for you and he said he loves you, what are you showing? I mean, what are you reciprocating? So if somebody is going to that extent because you are okay now, if you really love somebody and you know that this person doesn't have much, and you know that we all know what pressure can do to youth these days, and we all know the situation of the country, and you are in a relationship with this fellow, you guys claim you love each other, and that means it's all a lie. Probably it's just the guy loving you only. You don't love,
or maybe you are in the relationship for another means.
Another means it's not. It's love shouldn't pressure. Love, if you really love him, you won't pressure him up to the point that he goes around and look for a way out by all means to provide for your need. And by the way, it's not a sole responsibility to take care of. Why do you have a father?
And do you know the worst thing? Such man cannot satisfy that.
It is not possible.
Because the demand will be increasing every day.
It's not possible.
The want will be increasing. And another thing is that there will be comparison. When you see another man or another guy that is doing well, you don't know the source of the wealth, you don't know anything, you'll be like, is this person not a man like you? And that is not right. You know, Bible says
actually, I would have loved us to have a female.
No, we will definitely do that. That's why
it will really look as if looking at it from a perspective of, okay, we are the guys. So it might look biased and somehow, because it's
by
really
next week. By this, we are not being biased. By next week, we will have a guest, a male and a female.
Yeah, honestly speaking, it will really, because it can really look as if it's being biased. Because speaking from that perspective now, saying to take care of you, I was opportune to come into. There was a friend of mine that was having a relationship with a lady, so they were into this relationship not for quite long, and this young lady was telling me something. I said, okay, now before, my status.
Has she ever given the guy?
No, she don't. The guy doesn't even expect things from him.
That's one of those. Even it's not about being expectant. One thing is this: if you're in a relationship with anybody, it should be expected that you care for each other, right? You care for the other, and why the other cares for you. Like for instance, you don't have to be very buoyant. Okay, I went somewhere, I have little change, and I think like, okay, you might need this. Even if I give you that gift, it doesn't mean you will appreciate it. It may not meet the immediate need. But for the fact that I'm giving it, you should appreciate it. It's a form of encouragement and validation that, okay, you understand with me. Then if a lady is buoyant and is not doing that, and the guy is not also doing the same thing, I think both of them need the understanding that relationship demands responsibility. Both of them are not being responsible. And sincerely, I'm a student of marriage or relationship, and one of those things, even if you are in office, even if you have a colleague, you went to buy food today, tomorrow, he's not asking, but maybe you are coming, you just bought biscuit, I got this for you, he will appreciate it or not. And that will improve the relationship. But it should not be demanding, so that it won't become a burden. But we have to appreciate ourselves in one way or the other. It may involve more, and apart from that, it could even be like, okay, I have a body, like the guy now is not buoyant, he will always be in some thoughtful mode or thoughtful moment that the lady will say, this guy is not in the best mood. What is happening? Maybe that has never happened. And that is why the guy could say, I've never asked you for anything, right? And I'm not even asking